Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of In My Opinion. My name is John.
My name is Lester.
And my name is Dago.
That's right. Today we got a very special guest. But I'm going to try to move so that the light doesn't shine like that. Huh? That's right. Today we got a very special guest. As I was saying, this is Daryl or Dago. You can find him Dago Yaki on Instagram and on YouTube because now he's an up and coming YouTuber. Huh? And today we brought him here because we want to discuss today's topic with a third person, so that it's not just the two of us talking cock lah, huh? And
Yes.
also because Alistair lazy to change the camera from last week's setup.
Mainly because of that. I was like, do I really want to change the camera and go, nah. And I mean, this just goes to show how many episodes we have done. In fact, this is the 50th episode that we have done. 50th.
50th episode. Congratulations to Overthink.
Thank you. 50. I have no idea how we managed to find so much shit to talk about. To be honest, it still boggles my mind that we still got things to talk about.
Yeah, man.
I mean, as long as there's shit happening in Singapore, then
And shit has been happening in Singapore.
Yeah, but before we go on, remember to follow us on Instagram,
Yes.
IMO.pod, and
IMO.pod.
check out all our other HDHD episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, and without further ado, let's take it away.
Yes, a lot of shit has been happening in Singapore, or rather, I'm gonna make some insensitive joke, but it's okay. Okay, so the MP, so Ngee Ann Poly, is it Ngee Ann Poly?
Watch
Ngee Ann
the kind
Poly-
of jokes you make, I'm just saying.
you know what? Too soon. Ngee Ann Poly has been, exposed that the student union or some people within the student
The
union.
camp lah.
Is there a camp? I don't think it happened during the camp.
Whatever, like the orientation.
The student union within Ngee Ann Poly.
Hey, you all know what we're talking about lah.
Yeah.
Huh? A whole bunch of guys pee on two naked dudes lah. You all know what we're talking about lah.
y'all have probably seen the TikToks
I don't know
and
how to
memes.
say it. I'm so sorry, guys.
All
I
the
don't know
memes
how
and TikToks going around
Yeah,
right now. So
even if you haven't seen the video, you confirm seen the memes lah. Huh? I open my TikTok right. Every alternate video is one that's talking about the MP peeing incident lah. No need to go into it in depth. But if you need, we will leave a link in the description box below.
Link to a link.
And also a link to one of our favorite memes. Okay.
Okay, yeah. As I was saying it, the more I try to say it, the more I try to avoid it because I just can't believe that it happened. But it did. So let's now that we are confronted with the fact that it happened, let's all give starting thoughts and opening thoughts before we go into the deeper questions, which we had a very long debate about before we wrote.
We
the
actually
memos.
did. Yeah.
So, Dago, since you're the guest, why don't you start? What's your opening thoughts? What's your first thought when you heard it?
my opening thoughts. I feel it like it's really one of those hazing rituals that they try to make it rabak just for the sake of making it rabak. But there's absolutely zero thought in the implications that it might have. I just think about it from a outsider's point of view. Just peeing on people, it doesn't sound very right, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did have a big debate about the many intricacies that go. So we will elaborate on that later.
Yes.
To make it clear, we don't think that there's much nuance in this case in terms of peeing, whether it's right or wrong. We just straight up think it's wrong. The
Yeah.
end. There's no opinion there.
Correct.
Yeah, so I just want to put really right off the bat, right? That because we'll be discussing about some camp stuff later, about camp traditions and some of these things that people are talking about hazing in Singapore and all that kind of thing, right? I just want to make it clear. Firstly, we don't condone peeing on anyone.
Nope.
No bodily fluids.
100% no.
No bodily
In
fluids.
fact, when the birds shit on my dad's car, I'm really not happy already. So we don't condone that. But at the same time, we do encourage you all to give your comments below about what you think about the incident because we understand that, camps are a little bit touchy. And then I understand that sometimes, like, for those who are truly very immersed in camp culture, like those almost to the level where the stereotypical fraternities of the US,
Yes.
right? You may feel that this may be mildly acceptable. And I would like to hear your opinion because around this table, we are just going to be clear that peeing is not acceptable.
I mean, okay, let's start off with things. Okay, so we disagree on the later part of the episode.
Okay.
But let's start this episode calm and amicably by listing out the things that we feel we all agree that should not be done in a hazing / uni orientation camp or whatever the hell it is.
Actually, just now Dago brought up a good point,
Okay.
right? He mentioned about how we were discussing earlier also, no bodily fluids on
No
other
bodily
people.
fluids.
Maybe if they squeeze together a bit of sweat, okay lah. That's the only acceptable bodily fluid.
Fine, yes.
Any bodily fluid can come out from an orifice.
Orifice.
So
Orifice.
like, Spit, no.
Spit, no. Mucus, no. Pee,
mucus,
no. Shit, no.
shit, no.
Ejaculation liquid, no.
Jesus Christ. No. I can't believe we have
Didn't need to
say
hear.
this.
Didn't need to hear that.
Yeah.
I just caught myself just now laughing a little bit. I guess you can see just now. But I was like, I can't believe that we have to say these things. But somehow we do. We don't condone these things.
Yeah, I think when it comes to these kind of bodily fluids, especially in the pandemic age, right? Firstly, it takes a little bit too far. Takes a little bit too far in a decency sense. Secondly, diseases,
the hygiene sense.
We be spreading diseases.
Yeah, so it's just wrong on both sides, I guess. And also, a lot of allegations have been coming out about MPSU, especially like very serious allegations like sexual assault, sexual misdemeanor, sexual misdemeanor, and all these things like they are alleged. We don't want to talk about it too much because MP has not confirmed it.
Yeah,
no one has actually confirmed it. It's just alleged, and someone has said it.
Yep.
And if it's true, first of all, you want to say like, hearts out to the victims. I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of this, and hopefully you guys will be able to come out and share your story. But that's something we 100% do not agree with.
Yep.
100%. That is a very clear hard line in the sand that no.
Yep.
Just a straight up no. Can we all amen to that?
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
So now that we know what is wrong and we all agree with this, now the question I posed, which started a huge debate, was then what is the next grey area line? So
where do we draw the line next?
Correct.
Right.
So there's this very black and white clear line. No, whatever we just said. Now then what about the blank, the less black and white? And that is where shit gets real.
Yeah.
So okay. So before we go into it, first of all, I'm not someone that enjoyed camps a lot. I didn't particularly like it. I joined the exco as a publicity head, but because I wanted to stay in hall, not exactly because I liked hall and like orientation or anything. So I'm going to be, I guess, taking the point of view of someone who doesn't really see the need of camps.
Right.
It's not that I think there's no value. I just don't think it's that important.
Right.
Then what about Dago? What do you think?
I'm someone that's more of a neutral stance. I've seen both sides of the camp culture, I would say. One that's a bit more rabak, so to speak, and maybe one that's a bit more wholesome. And okay, honestly, I'm just more of a neutral. I believe that camps do bring some value.
Yeah.
Although
I still find some of it a lot of things inside camps are pretty redundant in the grand scheme of things.
Okay. So what about John? John, you have a complete opposite of me.
I fucking love camps.
So John was a OG. Were you OGL?
All kinds of GL I be before lah.
Okay.
OGL, whatever, GLC, GL, whatever.
You want to say what camps you have been involved in, or is that something you don't want to talk about?
I mean, NTU. When I was in NTU, I was a camp. I was in like the union camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
UOC. So
yeah, UOC.
It's one of the bigger camps.
There are 4 main big camps in NTU, ma. So UOC was one of the 4 big camps, lah.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we all have gotten our point of view of camps out of the way, I don't know where to start this argument. Oh my goodness. Okay, what's the line?
Why don't you start first? Because you are someone that did not enjoy camps. Then maybe after that, let me explain from the camp point of view, which I don't know whether it will be enlightening or will it just make less sense.
Yes. Okay. So from someone who didn't enjoy camps and I guess generally do not see the point of hazing, I think that all this is pretty useless. And I feel like the camps coordinator or camps in general should be, I guess, bumped down to the lowest common denominator.
So all inclusive.
Yes. Which I know both of you don't agree with that.
100%.
100% don't agree with that.
Why?
Okay. My counter argument is very simple. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we created a camp that hypothetically appeased everyone, right? Which appealed to the lowest common denominator, right? The type of activities that we have in that camp will not be the most interesting to anyone.
Yeah, okay.
Because we try to appeal to everyone, it becomes disinteresting to everyone.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
It becomes equally enjoyable and hence equally unenjoyable to everyone.
Yes. But
Agreed?
at what cost?
At the cost of the camp. Let me give you an example why. Okay? Because in a situation like an education institute, like poly, university, whatever, right? There is a very unspoken, invisible hierarchy of social activities.
Okay, yes.
Very
Example?
unspoken. So, like for example, example is also the unspoken hierarchy of camps. Every uni and every poly person, or any institution that exists multiple camps, there will be a camp that is in the impression will be that it's more fun,
Yes.
and there will be some camps where the impression is that it's more lame,
Yes.
right? That people don't necessarily want to go.
I
They only
agree.
go when they run out of options,
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
When you create a camp that panders to everyone, that tries to hit the lowest common denominator, you end up unfortunately closer to the lower end of the
To the
spectrum.
lame side.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you do not engage people's for the lack of a better word, people's wild energies.
Okay.
Right?
Wait, I want to quote you.
You pander to the acceptable.
Yeah. You see something along the lines of like, it's like a mass Singapore, repressed Singapore, like wowed out.
I would say that orientation camps in just now when we were discussing, I would say that orientation camps in Singapore, be it at a uni level or poly level or some kind of institution level, is where the repressed wild child energy comes out lah.
Okay.
Because I hate to say it, but like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we as Singaporeans are repressed as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
In terms of stupidity, we are repressed as fuck. In terms of entertainment that has no value, we are repressed as fuck. And in terms of doing those things with other people, we are also repressed as fuck.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine we all go to formal education, right? Before poly will be 10 years.
Yes.
Right? 10 years with a whole bunch of peers, not allowed to do anything.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you put a whole bunch of people for 10 years, sit together with a lot of energy, and all cannot do anything, don't be surprised if it spills out after that.
So you think that this is a natural byproduct? Or university hazing is a natural byproduct?
No,
Of it.
university camps are a natural byproduct of
The
this.
Okay.
But university hazing is an emergent property of people, as I was saying, it's an emergent property of people gathering together in camps. So I give you an example. If you think about like apes together strong, right? That's the
That's the thing now.
from Wall Street Bets and from Planet of the Apes. Apes together strong. So back then, right? Orientation camps were for you to form a group of friends to make meaningful connections. Correct. In fact, that is the main purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Is to make you socially more acceptable. Right.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
So when a bunch of people started orientation back in the conception of the institute, like back in the conception of your hall, I was there.
Yeah.
It was probably just a bunch of people like, hey, we're friends.
Correct,
And then after
yes.
that, this group becomes strong.
Yes.
And then this group wants to
Give the same experience.
really continue that dynasty, right?
Yes,
have descendants.
Yes.
But they recognize, hey, my group's strong. I cannot anyhow just let people come in. What?
Okay.
With strength comes some exclusivity. Correct?
Correct.
And
Okay.
as a result of that, we need to have some kind of entrance so that we know that you are part of our group. And as a result of the emergent property, hazing was created.
But is it necessary? At what cost?
So hazing has a purpose.
Yes,
I give you a very
You might want to not block Dago's camp, but
a very
yes.
convoluted
Oh,
but apparent purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, people who thrive through hazing
Yes.
are the people who recreate the hazing.
Okay. So basically, the people, what he's saying, I guess, is the people who enjoyed themselves when you're
When
going through
being
fucked up
hazed.
shit
Ah.
will go on to be the one that
Yeah.
does the fucked up shit.
They're more
Correct.
likely the people that would bring forth the culture.
Exactly.
And yeah, it just maintains this level of culture for future generations of students to come.
Yeah.
Isn't that a problem?
No, okay. You see, that is a problem for people who either don't make it into the group or the people who don't recognize the value of this group. I'll give you an example. So now none of us are MP students.
Yes, none. Yeah.
None of us are MPSU members. How can we fathom how much value that membership holds? think about it. Just now we also had this argument, right? About how MPSU had this peeing incident. Do you think this is the first time?
Probably not.
Definitely
right?
not.
Nope.
Probably not, right?
Not, yeah.
But why is it not the first time? And why is it able to still continue until it got caught? Someone must have kept repeating it, right?
Yes.
Why? If it's that dumb, if it's that stupid, right?
My theory, which I think both of you guys don't agree, is the same reason why like officers who like got screwed over in BMT go back to like BMT as like BMT officers and screw over their recruits, which is they just think there is a rite of passage.
So they want to do unto others, is it?
Yes.
No, but I tell you that is why that's not necessarily true. That may be the initial motivation.
Okay.
But most of the time, the people that organize these camps, are the people from the previous batch.
Yes.
Who, like you said, kena fuck by maybe they want a rite of passage because they kena fuck the last time they were there. But in order to organize a camp, in order to organize a student body camp, there are so many things that go into it that goes beyond petty motivations.
Does it really?
You must be invested. Where the money come from?
But the school doesn't know what. So
where the money come from? Where the activities come from?
Isn't it a school?
No.
The school sponsors these things. What? Is it not? Am I wrong?
I don't know about the uni, about the poly level, but at uni level, you have to find some of your own money on your own. No? Printing on t-shirt, you need to go and find your own self.
Yes.
School only provide a little bit. But this, right, people motivated to rite of passage cannot carry this kind of activity out.
Okay.
There needs to be an exco, like you said.
Yeah.
There needs to be a bunch of people that are united enough to carry forward the tradition. If this tradition truly sucks, would it carry on?
Evidently, yes. Okay.
That means to us outside of the group, yes, it sucks, right?
Yeah.
But there may be some invisible value that this group values.
Okay, Wadago, what do you think?
Honestly, I've gotten a bit lost here. I'm a bit in the grey area right now.
No worries. No, but like honestly, what I'm trying to say is that because there is some invisible value that is tied to camp activities and hazing activities, that's how they are able to survive.
Isn't that the problem? Isn't that why things like the MPSU peeing thing happens? Because that guy until this day still says that he is
no,
he
I
is
recognize
compliant.
that. No, but I recognize that there is a problem when larger society views these incidents.
Yeah.
Right? Because when larger society views these incidents are taken out of
They're
context.
taken out of context.
Yeah. Your phone,
Oh,
put it off the table first. Yeah. It's taken out of context, right?
Yeah.
So when it's taken out of context, right, it gets a little bit more problematic because these people do not understand what the value behind these activities are. Now, I'm not saying that peeing on each other has
any value.
elevates the value of your experience in the SU. It's not that. What I'm talking about is the fact that someone has organized a camp
Yes.
that has one of these strange obscure activities where they pee on each other
Yes.
in the disguise of camaraderie,
Yes.
and somehow
Yes.
this camp and this group and this experience is impactful enough that it happens again and happens again and happens again.
Isn't that the problem?
No, the problem is the activity.
Yeah, no, but isn't the problem? Do you guys get what I mean? Do you get what I mean? Like, isn't the problem the fact that they blindly follow because they thought it was fun, and then they move on, and then they move on and move on,
So
and then
that is where
there's no one that stops and go like,
yeah.
hey, why are we peeing?
So okay, then I agree with you, because when people blindly follow activities, yes, that is the problem,
Yeah.
right? But there is this hidden
there's
value.
There's that bit
Invisible
of intangible value, Yeah, it's on the outside, from an outsider's perspective, it really makes no sense. Like,
It
why
makes
would
absolutely
people
no sense.
why would people do this kind of thing?
Yes.
Similarly, I think we can call back to a similar. And it's not even remotely close to the peeing incident. I think there was an issue with one of the halls in NUS last time where they were dunking someone inside the pond, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there was such a big hoo-ha about it. But what was the real problem about it? Yeah, it's just okay, in my opinion, it's just a harmless little ritual. I wouldn't even call it a ritual. Just a
thing.
It's just a thing inside.
So
Let's
now
say
here's the
block.
new problem.
Yeah.
Then why is the peeing thing not just a harmless little ritual?
Because like we mentioned,
Bodily fluids.
like we mentioned earlier, there are certain for the lack of a better word, there are certain lines that we draw on certain activities that we do that cross the boundary of stupid and fun.
Okay, yes.
So, like, for example, when you talk about the people being dunked into the pool, 100%, that is fun.
Okay, wait, no, but you can see how conceivably someone might look at that and think, wow, that's dangerous as hell.
Yes, but
Correct,
I'm going to play
correct.
the advocate here, but that is that person's problem. That person does not see the value of the activity that constitutes the group.
Okay.
Maybe that particular pond, that particular dunking, that particular number of times holds a certain invisible significance to the in-group that this person is trying to get into.
Okay.
So because of the result of this person being dunked, and this person gets in the group survives. The group stays as strong as it originally was. So do we lose some of the dangerous and less meaningful activities? Absolutely, man. In the name of progress, absolutely that should be done. But do we stand to lose something also in the process of doing that? Yes. And what that thing is, I cannot tell you. It's some invisible thing that exists within camp culture.
So do you think that it's not possible to have the same invisible feeling without hazing?
I feel it is possible.
Okay.
But
Then what?
right? But the dynamic that gets attracted will be completely different.
Like, okay, how different?
So let's say we create a camp without hazing,
Yes.
right? And objectively, it was a successful camp. Participants came, people gave good reviews, they enjoyed themselves. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
The following batch of people to reorganize that camp
Yeah.
will reorganize the no hazing because that's their experience that they've had.
Yes.
So what do you stand to lose here?
Tradition.
The invisible things that used to exist. I don't know how to say.
Yes, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
The invisible fun, the invisible energy.
It's the kind of the thing where you go through it, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is so messed up and everything. But you look back on it a few years later and think, hey, that was kind of fun. Even though objectively it can be
Yes.
pointless, really pointless, you know.
Yeah.
It's like your army days, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. You go through BMT, everyone hates it and everything. Then 3 years later, you all come back together. Hey, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But you know it wasn't fun.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, I just want to make it clear also that, like, you know, I do recognize that some people who didn't enjoy the camp feel that certain activities definitely cross the line,
Yes.
right? It may cross the line of consent, for example.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It may cross the line of disgusting activities, right?
Or like harm on the person.
Yes,
Yeah.
and those things I feel do not have a place
Yes.
in camps,
I agree.
right?
Yes.
But to blanket statement and say that all activities in camps are because they look a little bit unsafe are in the same vein as these activities, I think that's not right. Like, I give you an example, like let's say we talk about the dunking in the pool, right? What conceivable danger can that have?
Someone drown?
Drown, right?
Yeah.
Right? So if let's say, right, that activity is done in a way that does not potentially drown people,
Yes.
would that be a more okay activity to do?
How would that look?
So you see, this is where the nuance happens,
Yeah.
right? This is where the discussion has to happen. How would that look?
Yeah, how would that look like?
I want to continue to dunk, but how would that look like? So this is the kind of discussion that needs to happen around camps. Not the, oh my God, it's dangerous. Don't do anymore. You are fucked up for allowing your students to do this kind of thing. Why your camp need to have this kind of thing? What the heck? Because these people are not part of the group, don't recognize the value of these certain activities. Right? So the discussion should be very simple. What the fuck? Why are you peeing on people? What purpose? What good does it come to? What good comes with that fucking activity?
Yes.
And if the answer is a no good answer, then do away with it. Or modify in a way that you can save yourself the anguish. You talk about the dunking, right? Dunking may be very simple, right? How does it remove from it? I don't put the person head in.
Okay.
I still dunk the person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or down the feet.
No need to dunk the I dunk your feet.
I
dunk your whole body except for your head. Also can what?
Okay.
That's the thing, you see. Or I modify the activity to be something else.
Sure. Okay, then wait, Dago, you want to say something?
No, I think John kind of covered it already.
Okay. Okay, then if let's say you're the GL.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm the student officer that let's say the NUS GL that just dunked the head of your freshie. And I'm the student officer that went like, okay, why do you do this? What's the point of this? What's your answer?
It's part of the hazing process,
Then we say, why is that valuable?
because it helps to make my freshie go a bit closer. Lah. But okay, this is where I feel it's important to preface it with something also.
Yes.
Personally, if I were a GL,
Yeah.
I am all for taking responsibility for what I do. And I
Yes.
think that is another important point that we need to get into.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So when activity does not make sense to people, right, I will try my best to explain it.
Okay.
Right. But a lot of times when you ask people why people do stupid fun things, right? No reason one. Why you shake leg?
Yeah.
Why you last time in classroom you make paper bullets shoot your friend?
Okay.
No reason
Then
one.
can we not see that might be the same reason the MPSU people are saying to the everyone else as well?
It is, and that's why I mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
When it crosses a certain line and there's no way for you to explain it and take responsibility for it,
Yeah.
then you modify it
Okay.
or you do away with it.
Okay. So
Right?
let's
I
say
give
the
it
dunking thing.
The dunking thing.
Yeah. So let's say you go back to the dunking thing.
Actually, actually, I wanted to add on to that.
Yeah.
I think what it does is that I guess it forges some form of identity. I think that's the intangible thing we were kind of like mentioning about. You know, you go through this thing together that all of you freshies will go through, right? It forges this sense of belonging, you know, because like, hey, I went through all these things, all these like hazing rituals, so to speak, and that is the intangible thing which brings the people close together.
Yes.
Because they went through this common experience together.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that is where that intangible value kind of comes in, that sense of identity. And perhaps they even had that with the peeing incident.
They probably did.
They probably did.
This
from a
guy
long time
went out on
ago.
a limb and he posted an Insta story and said that it was consensual.
Yeah.
So he probably had a whale of a time if for all you know. He probably fucking enjoyed it.
I guess
But that's
so.
still fucked up.
Yeah, of
No,
course.
okay,
And that's
I'm just
where
gonna
we
s-
drew the line, right?
But I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
gonna
where
put
we
it
drew
there
the
that
line.
I don't think he enjoyed the peeing.
He probably enjoyed the aftermath of being accepted
Yes,
by the...
yeah, probably.
Yes.
The intangible feeling, yes.
Isn't that the problem?
No,
the problem is that
that's the
social acceptance is so powerful that you can literally do anything to these people and they will take it.
It's true. So there is only one real answer to this entire thing, and that is to cancel all camps.
It's okay.
But
That's
like
such
we
a-
were discussing earlier,
Yeah.
what do we stand to lose? We lose something also intangible, right? When
Yeah.
we cancel these camps.
I agree. Even as someone who doesn't enjoy camps, I can see that that's intangible. That as much as I didn't get out of it, other people did.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
don't think that cancelling camps is a satisfactory response to this.
It's not. But
It's
and,
just-
but
that's
we'll
just
take
me.
a camera break and then we'll continue.
Yes, we'll take camera back.
Camera break, be right back. Peace.
Oh, that was a fast camera break.
Yeah, that was a very fast camera break.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a very satisfactory answer.
It's
so
not.
I don't think anyone who say like just cancel camps, I
Yeah.
don't think that's the answer. But I think that this is such a complicated question because then where do we draw the line? And the other bigger point is the point about responsibility.
Yeah.
Where does the buck stop? Who takes the responsibility when shit goes down?
The person who organized the activities, 100%.
Okay. Which might be at 17 and 21 year olds.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, come on. You're not gonna go through life not making mistakes, especially at that kind of age, you know.
Absolutely.
All that unrepressed energy that you have is bound to come out, and
Yeah.
definitely in the type of things that you may formulate inside a camp, you know. And there's really no idealistic way around it. There's no way that no
Exactly.
mistakes can ever be made. And it's better to make all these stupid mistakes while you're young so that you don't pass on
You
these
don't
stupid
repeat
things.
them.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
repeat them. If anything, you could even if you make these mistakes now, you could actually, you know, pass it down to people in the future so that they don't make these mistakes. So that's the point that I'm trying
So
to
the
drive.
takeaway I feel for this incident, they shouldn't view it as the mistake was being caught.
Yeah.
The mistake ought to have been like, okay, this activity truly is fucked up.
Yes.
We
I agree.
shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have continued.
Which, based on alleged WhatsApp photos, doesn't seem like they are going about it this way.
that. They don't understand it yet, lor.
You know.
Yeah.
We have to give people time to grow. on the flip side of it, actually camps have this very unpopular thing that we do, that camps do, to try to prevent incidents like this, where people who don't understand the idea, who don't grasp the identity, and don't enjoy the camps, potentially can damage the group dynamic. We do profile screening before we bring anyone in to the camp.
Yeah, can you from OGL or like EXCO member?
I tell you.
Elaborate on this.
So last time for camps, what we did is we will have a list of people who applied for the camp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And throughout that list, we will go through social media and through friends' anecdotes and that kind of thing, try to find out more about this person and see whether they fit the profile of
people you want in
accepting to enthusiastic mindless fun. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so that's the profile.
That's the generic
profiling.
Profiling lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
That's enthusiastic to the generic mindless fun.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So we will try to get those people to be part of the camp first.
Okay. Yes. Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think what happened after that, okay, why recently and all that kind of thing, there's a lot of this kind of things that got reported. Schools suddenly clamp down and say we cannot screen anymore.
Oh, is it a thing? You can't screen anymore?
Apparently so.
Oh, okay.
So they want to.
I didn't know about that.
Maybe it has been diluted so much that you all don't feel it already.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, you guys have to know that this guy is like pretty old. He's a dinosaur already. So his information is a bit outdated.
For example, last time, if I remember correctly, Student Union and NTU will say like, a certain percentage have to be random.
Oh, what?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh.
Okay. What's the reason behind that actually?
They want to create a more inclusive camp.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Because some people complain that, I apply the camp, I cannot get in.
Okay.
Right?
And then
I hate to say this. But in my opinion,
I know what's coming.
In my opinion,
yeah.
a lot of those that complain that they cannot get into the camp, when they get into the camp, they complain about the camp being too fucked up. Then how? Then how?
I guess profiling could be seen as a necessary evil of sorts. So
it is sort of a necessary because you see, like just now we kept having this discussion, we kept coming back to this about where we draw the line.
Yes.
Do we draw the line at the activities or do we draw the line at the participation? Should we put the bouncer at the entrance of the club or the bouncer inside the club?
Oh, that's a good analogy. I feel like it's both.
Then might as well don't have club. Right? If you need to regulate the entrance and you need to regulate the activities in the club, they might as well open a shopping mall. No need club.
No, but...
Or open a Teo Heng, right? No need club. Make sense?
Okay.
There is a reason why, like, it even has a club annotation to it. What?
For some reason, it just doesn't sit well with me.
Something visceral, but something also close to vice happens inside clubs.
Yeah.
And I would say in camps, right? And in this kind of like exclusive group kind of activities, something less than satisfactory happens, right? And the thing about it is that I use the word unsatisfactory loosely. It can be very simple, like some people may find it. I would say a large majority of the population in Singapore will find it acceptable to have a camp activity where the forfeit is I draw on your face with a marker.
Yeah. 95% will be pretty alright with that.
But we just need one person who is not okay with that to ruin the entire experience for everyone.
Okay, so I do agree that the participation, there should be some screening. You agree with that? Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Okay, so we all agree with that. That one definitely. The reason why I still think that there should be a bouncer in the club is because of the MPSU thing.
Okay, this I slightly agree with you.
Okay,
I slightly agree with you.
all right.
I give you an example why. Okay, I feel that there shouldn't be a bouncer inside the club. Instead, there should be a student chaperone.
Okay, so
a
just
senior chaperone.
Okay.
Someone who has been through it and understands it and
knows
is able to be the opposing voice in it.
And the mature one.
Yes.
The one that can see the other side of the,
Yes.
what's that idiom called? Like the wearing the other shoe or something.
Wearing the other shoe.
Wearing the person
Wearing
that wears the other shoe. You all know what I'm talking about.
y'all know what
The
we're
guy that
talking
wear the
about.
other shoe.
I don't know.
It
what's
shouldn't
that.
be a bouncer because you see, when you over-regulate camps, right, camps become not fun. It happened during the camp when I was organizing for my juniors. The professors want to be super involved lah, especially because my era was the one immediately after the NUS kena caught lah. Then, clamp down them crazy.
Okay.
I draw on people's body. Certain things look a little bit obscene. They ask me to modify the drawing.
Oh.
They come down and then they see why the student got this thing on their body. Can you change to a different...
What?
Yes.
So like you go and erase it.
I go and erase and I change again. Then the freshie is like, walao, don't draw already lah. Then I'm like, they say cannot, so I modify. It's just my way of having fun.
Okay.
Right? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So, have you gotten into any trouble?
I actually got complained once.
Okay.
And I think this is a very classic example of why screening is very important.
Okay.
So after the school mentioned that, screening is no longer a thing, we must accept everyone. Right?
Yeah.
So one of those nights we were waiting for either supper or go back to room or whatever lah. So we were all chilling outside, night activity things.
Yeah.
Then I was like, typical me being me, as a group leader, I was like, you want to tell ghost story, not? Right? So some of them were like, don't want to be scared. Like, okay. No need everyone one. You're scared one, right? You all can sit one corner, HT. The rest of you, we sit one circle. Right, then we tell ghost story. I love listening to ghost stories. Right, sit down. Then I say, come. Don't shy. You got story? Please come.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we sat one circle. We tell ghost story. After the camp, suddenly I received a complaint. Then today you even say I need to go to the office and write statement. Then I was like, wow, what happened? What did I say? Did I slip up? Right.
Yeah.
Did I slip up and scold some freshie bad word or something? I didn't realize because it might not be immediately obvious, but I can be quite crude. So go into the office, write statement. They tell me. You know what they tell me? They tell me say that like, one of the freshie say that. She don't want to hear ghost story, but you insist they must tell ghost story, and then now she don't dare to come to school or don't dare to stay hall. Right? At that point of time, I was very upset. Because firstly, right, in my young adolescent head, back then uni,
Teenage angst lah,
Yeah,
teenage
correct.
Uni angst.
I was like, 洗密蓝教sia, what do you mean don't dare come to school? Okay, but now that many years have passed and I look back on the incident, right?
Yeah.
That's when I think to myself. Firstly, right, when I was writing that statement, I gave her the truth. I was like, I didn't force anyone to come and sit with me.
Yeah.
I didn't say that you don't want to listen to the story. I force you sit down and listen and contribute. No. In fact, I understand that people can get frightened of ghost stories.
Yeah.
Sit one corner. Don't need to come in.
Yeah.
I encourage that activity. So after that statement, no follow after that. So I assume that was clear, right? But it enlightened me to one very important point. That was the kind of person that shouldn't have come to camp.
Yeah. Okay.
Was the kind of person
Pretty
we
much.
would have screened out.
If it was available lah.
Yeah. And that is the kind of person that will come in when we pander to the lowest common denominator.
Okay. Here's the thing: the non-screening thing is a fact already, right? We can't really exactly change that for now. So, in my head is that I agree that maybe that girl should have been a bit more discerning in terms of what to join and what not to join, but on the other hand, I guess kind of understand why she would want to join it, even if she was uncomfortable, because of whether is it peer pressure, FOMO. Last time when you're young, you don't know how to think for yourself, whatever.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
all these things are, unfortunately, I guess features of a young adolescent mind, or young uni mind or young poly mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shouldn't that be taken into account when you're designing a camp?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And those camps exist.
the lame ones.
Yeah.
if you want to put it that way,
I didn't say it, but you said it.
You said it. You're the one that.
No, but
like
you see, I don't know how to explain. You recognize that
I do.
these camps exist.
Yeah, I do.
And you recognize that these camps are not the most enjoyable camps as well.
enjoyable for me, but not for everyone
Not
else.
for
right?
everyone.
That's
Yeah.
it. So you think about it, right? That is your spectrum, you know.
Yeah.
If you want to put it that way,
And
then,
I let's take this thought experiment a bit further. I'm pretty sure, right? Even for someone like you who would say you enjoy those camps, right? There are still things that are unacceptable to some people in those camps.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why must I eat out of the bento box?
Oh my gosh.
You follow where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
So how?
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things we really wanted to bring up, right, is that you really can't be idealistic and pander to such a wide spectrum of incoming students because it's just too big. And like what John said, if you appeal to the lowest common denominator, no one's gonna take anything away from this camp. It's really just gonna be a waste of money, a waste of. I guess people can potentially make friendships and everything, but you must also accept the fact that realistically, the chances of that happening is going to be a lot lower.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that being said, okay, I totally agree that at the crux of today's discussion, okay, the hazing activities when taken too far are really uncalled for and don't necessarily add value to camps at all.
Doesn't. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where we mentioned about how we mentioned earlier about bodily fluids, how we mentioned earlier about
Sexual
assaults and things, consent problems,
Yes.
These are things that have no place in camps because not only do they add little to minimal value to the experience, right? The potential con that comes with them is extremely high.
Yes.
Right?
It does. Yes.
But that's why I say that the solution may be like what you suggested, bouncer at the door but a chaperone on the inside.
Okay.
So if we talk about GTA video game terms, will be bouncer at the door and the pimp on the inside.
Fair enough.
So
Fair
right,
enough.
the rabak guard is inside.
Yeah. It's
But
like
the Singapore law guard is at the
outside.
door.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, my problem with the hazing thing isn't that I'm okay with the hazing when it's done right. Maybe because like I've been through army, right? And as I agree with Dago, it's always the tough shit that when you go back with your
Adversity,
army mates,
right?
Yeah, then you'll think about it. Or like, even in freaking TSL, we always go back to the days like, remember that we OT.
TSL no hazing. I don't know what this guy talking about.
TSL no hazing.
TSL no hazing. I don't know what this guy talking about.
I say tough times like OTing and stuff.
Okay.
Like it's always the tough times that we are going to look back and like
making your first e-book video, right?
yeah, like oh my god, remember that ebook video drawn by us taping and like we all didn't drink because we were stressed as fuck.
I don't know what you guys were feeling, man. I wasn't like that.
But
I was calm as fuck, guys.
but I remember it's always these tough times that we look back on fondly. So I don't disagree that hazing has like in a weird way some form of good.
Yes.
What I'm afraid of is that the fact that hazing lives in the grey area allows people, especially young, frankly immature and stupid minds, to take it way too far.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. The reason why I'm so uncomfortable is because I don't know how to solve it.
I also don't know. And the thing about
no way to solve
and the
it.
fact that right, this is still being a point of discussion.
Yeah.
When we were already discussing this when I was still a freshman in uni. That's how long.
That's how no one has a solution.
And that's how long it has gone unsolved. Because when you think about it, right, before the initial discussion where I discovered it when I was in uni, right, prior to that, confirm a lot of times also it happened before.
Yeah.
And there's no answer.
There's
right?
no answer.
There's no concrete good answer that satisfies everyone.
Well, at that type of age, you're just gonna make mistakes, man. You're just gonna make mistakes.
The problem is that these mistakes are like for the case of the MP people, if the sexual assault allegations are true, or even the freaking peeing incident, these mistakes are costly mistakes.
They are, and they have, and these are I feel that these are also extremely detrimental to the so-called camp culture that they are trying to actually create.
Yes.
And that's why we mentioned about certain lines that we don't cross, which is the bodily fluid, all that kind of thing. Because you think about it, right? If that is truly the camp culture, and these are things that cannot necessarily go public, when they go public, it does nothing but a disservice to your group.
Yeah.
The group cannot survive without new members.
Everyone just misunderstands.
Right?
I guess so. Yeah.
So you need to create an environment where people are face to face with it so they can weigh the activity against the recruitment.
Yes.
You follow where I'm going with this, right?
So they have to be aware that these things are rabak.
They have to be aware that it's rabak
Yeah.
because the group there's a certain worth in joining this group.
Does the school need to be aware of this?
This is where I don't know how to answer you. Because you see, think about it. The reason why it's problematic also is because these groups are part of a larger institution.
Yeah.
And these institutions are run to support the lowest common denominator. Everyone.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yep.
And that's why when we were like at the crux of our discussion earlier also, right? We keep saying camps got no place, man. Cancel. That's the only solution we have. Don't have camps,
I'll go what's the solution.
right?
I really have no solution because from a PR perspective, obviously they can't go out and say, "Oh, we knew all of this and we allowed it." That would just destroy the reputation. I mean, come on, look at NUS right now.
Yeah.
With all the sexual accusations and everything, which I find kind of annoying, guys. We're not all perverts, you know.
Yeah.
We don't have our cap's not high enough for that.
But that's the rap, right?
Yeah, that's the rap that the public has of us right now, which is
Sex school.
yeah, it's
Which is not true, lah, I guess. Like,
Yeah, so-
it's a generalization. I
so
guess.
so coming back to the point, right? I guess it's something that perhaps the schools themselves could actually close one eye on, you know. They may be aware. I mean, they definitely know things like that happen. You can't iron everything out.
Yeah, let's
honestly.
let's be realistic.
Yeah,
here.
let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't iron everything out.
And you know, on the point of ironing everything out, right? If you do that, you may push some of these things underground, where it gets even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, and perhaps as long as they, you know, if they close one eye, right, and especially so if the people that are organizing these things, right, they know the implications and they know their responsibility to not get it out, lah, so to speak.
Yeah.
Then actually, I kind of forgot the point. Forgot the point that you were
Don't
trying
let
to
it
pose
out.
me.
is it?
I think it's okay. Back to the point that the school knowing about it, they are definitely aware. I guess the one solution is just to keep an eye on it, but close the other. You know. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I don't know, man. And the other problem about responsibility is that I think there's a very clear. I said this before we wrote the cameras. I think there's a very clear difference between an OC like screwing over his recruits in front of a CEO, and being okay and being able to justify it, versus these people who are doing these hazing things in behind closed doors,
Yeah.
not wanting anyone to hear it because they know for a fact they cannot justify
Correct.
it. And that's what makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Also.
Okay. As much as I'm a huge proponent of camps, and I'm a huge proponent of camps having certain hazing activities which helps build the identity that Dago mentioned.
Yeah.
I feel that it is also important to understand that this kind of fraternity mindset in universities, this kind of hazing in-group activity mindsets are old mindsets,
Yes.
Yes.
right? And the attitudes towards these things have changed over time.
Yes.
And I recognize that institutions now, educational institutions especially, where these things happen the most, right, have no real space for this kind of activities in their orientation program,
Yeah.
right?
No. Yeah.
And that's where I feel we have to not draw a line, but come to a consensus.
Okay.
People who want to uphold certain camp traditions will have to understand that certain things have to be let go to keep up with the times,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Correct.
And universities who want to keep up their pristine reputation, right, have to understand that as an institute of young people who are there to not just study but have fun, certain compromises will have to happen during orientation programs.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is where
yeah.
not the line has to be drawn, but the marrying of concept has to happen.
Yes, I agree. And now the problem that we always go back to is where do we compromise at? Where's that line again?
So very
And
simply,
that's damn confusing.
very simply, I think just now you proposed a very good solution, right?
Which is the student chaperone thing.
Participation line drawn before the camp,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And a senior chaperone that's inside.
Okay.
And this senior chaperone has to take his role very seriously, right? About infractions. But at the same time,
He's the close one eye guy.
he is the close one.
He is the close one guy. Yeah.
Okay. So, now the next problem. I know we're not trying to create solutions to this, by the way, because we know we don't have the solutions. But I can see how trusting the students, as I'm going to go back to it once again, trusting 21-year-olds and 17-year-olds to be the gatekeepers at the participation level. I can see why the school will be very uncomfortable with that.
Of course.
Because
But-
that leaves a lot of room for abuse of power.
Correct. But at the same time, the school is also the one that empower these ones to create the camp.
Okay, so you feel like they can't just give... Okay, they have to give them full
You have
responsibility.
to give them everything. So you give them the power to start the problem. you must give them the warning that they are now potentially part of any problem.
Okay.
So I give you the student chaperone, very simple, right? Student chaperone, you can go inside, close one eye, go and have fun. In fact, you're part of this group, go and have fun with them. Right?
But when shit goes down,
shit happen,
you're fucked.
It's you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's your ass.
Correct.
Okay, I can get behind that. I feel like we solved the problem.
I guess so.
Yeah. Wow, Harvard SMS me.
NTU, NUS, hit us up.
Bro, you want scholarship?
Man.
John, you want to go back to uni?
Wow.
Go back to your uni camp.
So later you can't use student chaperone.
Give me degree, can you don't give me camp. No energy. No, but I totally understand because you see, personally, right, if I were to go back to university at this age,
yeah,
I still want to join camp.
You still want to go through hazing?
I still want to go to camp.
Hazing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's fun. I don't know how to explain why it's fun because it's shitty. Right? Can you imagine if let's say they create some stupid slapping game?
Can I just understand, like, is it fun while you're doing it?
It's not fun. The activity itself is not fun.
It's only fun after it.
It's the ho that you get out of it.
So it's the after that you're looking
The
forward
aftermath, the aftermath.
So it's kind of like running. The running itself isn't fun, it's the success and the achievement feeling that you feel after
I
that.
guess.
in a convoluted way, probably.
Yeah.
Intangible stuff.
Yeah. The payoff is what you get
correct.
being invited into the group. And the payoff also, like what Dago mentioned, is having been through it together, bonding through adversity.
Okay. So, okay, I do think that schools are trying to do their best to like instill, I guess, some basic moral values in especially ESCO members and everything. Because I remember I had to do a quiz, and that quiz was pretty fucking long. So it covered a lot of things like what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, some basic decency stuff, like don't sexually assault your members, and what to do when you see it, etc., etc. So I think schools are trying to do their best, but evidently, the fact that this thing still exists means that there's still a lot more to do lah. And as I think you guys can figure out by now, if you guys have watched 52 minutes of this and you still haven't figured it out, this is a complicated topic.
It is, but very clear cut. Don't pee on people.
I think that's a really good way to...
Can we agree?
Can we all just like... Can we all just hold hands no matter what we
I think the only extreme activity that you can do is with pee is if you own a garden, you pee in your own plant. That's the most extreme, okay? Okay, any more? Please don't.
What a good way to end it.
Just don't pee.
Just don't pee on people, guys. It's unsanitary and
it's just degrading. I don't know, man.
Don't pee on people in camps if that's your kink and everything.
Oh yeah. If you whatever you do in the bedroom,
just
that was a bit more iffy.
more power to you.
More power. Yeah, if you find someone else, then good for you, man. But it's so tough.
But then again, you see, interesting that we brought about kinks then.
Then you think this is like some weird form of kink?
No. if the kink got exposed, hear me out. Thought canon here, huh?
Yeah, thought canon. Yes, go ahead.
If the P kink got exposed,
yeah.
in the bedroom one, got exposed, will there be such a big hoo-ha?
Okay.
If someone's P kink.
Okay, wait, it went a different direction.
I don't know where I'm going with this. Maybe I'm just
Let's just spend 3 minutes on this, okay? I think the problem here is that the compliance in this case of that guy, no one believes it.
Okay.
Hold up. Wait, what's the context again? Is it about peeing in the bed or peeing
like
in the bedroom?
P king in the bedroom, yeah.
Or the pee kink in the bedroom.
If it gets out,
if it gets out, right, people will just look at you and be okay.
It's like weird chat.
Yeah. But in the case of NP, ultimately they are still representing an institution.
Okay, so yours is the okay.
Yeah, they're still representing an
compliance.
institution.
Mine is the compliance. Mine is the consent thing.
Yeah.
I think the reason why people don't accept it is because they view his consent as a product of peer pressure.
Yeah.
And I agree. So I think that's where the line was drawn. And that's why I don't think the bedroom thing would have been that big a problem versus this MP thing.
Yeah.
So it goes back to consent.
The consent being iffy.
The consent is being iffy.
Okay.
My point is very simple. For the first time in a rare long time, I don't know.
It's tough, man. This is tough.
This one, I really don't know.
This is tough.
Because I can spin it in a way whereby even the bedroom kink can be presented in a similar way. I get it. I can totally see it.
Yeah.
Right? But like for example, between two sexual pressure is also a type of pressure.
That's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. But we already say many times, okay? Orientation camp, don't pee on people.
Yeah. It's your friend, just don't.
But I understand, okay? If let's say you need an activity that is the rabak and you can only think of pee, firstly, don't. Secondly, think harder.
Just take.
DM us, we come out with more activities for you, okay? Roll in the mud. That's one.
Actually, roll in the mud sounds pretty good to me. I don't know about you, but I would like to roll in the mud. I'm not even that bad about it. Okay, but all jokes aside, once again, sorry to all the victims of the people who are from the MP SU incidents and everything, alleged what they allegedly did. We're sorry for, I don't know, I mean, we didn't do anything, but we still feel very sorry.
Yeah, sorry for that you had to go through that. But at the same time, I want to encourage our viewers, especially those who have bad experiences with camp. I want you all to start a discussion with each other in the comments. Healthy, of course, we always encourage healthy discussion.
Yes.
In a way where we get to discuss our opposing points of view. Yeah. Because I understand that there'll be some people who think that certain activities are acceptable, and there are some people with very low threshold for acceptable activities for camps.
AKA me.
And this is where we want to have this discussion, because would it be better if we don't let these people come to camp?
Yeah.
Or would it be better if we regulate the camp activities?
I think that's a good argument. That's a good food for thought for the comments.
Our answer very simple. Guard the entrance and chaperone the inside.
Yeah. I agree. I can stand by that. And once again, we do want to make light of the situation because we know it's tough. I mean, amid all the memes and everything, I think we still want to acknowledge the fact that someone probably got emotionally hurt from this.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, someone got either
probably scarred.
Yeah, it's physical. Scarred. Yeah, if it's not physical, it's emotionally scarred, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we don't want to make too much light of this, but I think going forward, that question that John posed at the end of the episode is probably a good thinking food for thought. Good food for thought to try to prevent this from happening ever again.
Absolutely.
Because that's the next priority is tending to the victims and then trying to make sure there's no more victims from here on out.
Yep.
And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Dago, for being on set with us today. Go check him out on Instagram, check him out on YouTube. Yeah.
He's a new up and coming YouTuber. He's doing very well. I like his college videos and everything. So go check him out, guys.
Correct. Yes. And leave in the comments below if you want to see any of our old guests come back on our talk show, and then we can discuss maybe the next episode with them.
And once again, if you disagree with us, we're sorry. If we got anything wrong, we're sorry. Please leave it down in the comments below and we have a constructive discussion. And with that, thank you very much. See you guys next week.
Bye. Bye.